Title: The Shepherd Who Listened. The Life Journey of Cardinal Robert F. Prevost. Chapter 1. A seed in Chicago. In a modest home on the south side of Chicago, Robert Francis Prevost was born in 1955. Raised in a devout Catholic family, young Robert learned early that faith was not only something practiced on Sundays, but a way of life. His parents taught him humility, prayer, and the quiet strength of service. By the time he reached his teenage years, Robert felt a deep call, not just to be a good man, but to be a man for others. He joined the Order of St. Augustine, a religious community known for its emphasis on education, community life, and service to the poor. His decision was not dramatic. It felt like stepping into the path I was already walking, he would later say. Ordained a priest in 1982, Father Prevost's path soon took a surprising turn, not toward the safety of academia or pastoral work in the U, but to the mission fields of Peru. Chapter 2. The mountains of Peru. Peru in the 1980s was a country torn by poverty and internal conflict. When Father Prevost arrived, he did not yet speak Spanish well, and certainly not Quechua, the native language of the highland people. But what he lacked in words, he made up for with presence. He lived as the people lived. He walked barefoot on dusty roads, shared simple meals of rice and beans, and sat under trees teaching children how to read and write. But more than anything, he listened. He listened to the elderly recount lost stories. He listened to mothers cry over their children who had no medicine. He listened to the silence of villages left abandoned by fear and violence. Soon, people began to call him Padre de la Esperanza, the Father of Hope. Even under threats from militant groups who warned him to leave, he stayed. If they fear love, he said, then love must stay even more. Chapter 3. A bishop of the people. After 2 decades in Peru, Father Prevost was no longer seen as a foreigner. He was a brother, a mentor, a spiritual father. When he was appointed Bishop of Chiclayo in 2014, it was not seen as a promotion. It was a continuation of his mission of proximity. As bishop, he didn't sit in an office. He rode buses to remote villages, brought food to flood victims, and listened to youth struggling with addiction or despair. His homilies were short but powerful, filled with stories, not theory. I do not lead from above, he once told seminarians. I walk in the dust with my people. Chapter 4. The Call to Rome. In 2023, the unexpected happened. Pope Francis called Bishop Prevost to Rome to lead one of the most important departments in the Vatican, the Dicastery for Bishops. This office helps select new bishops around the world, shaping the very heart of the Church's leadership. Bishop Prevost became Cardinal Prevost, a prince of the Church, but he never acted like one. He still wore simple shoes. He made his own coffee. He answered his own emails. One colleague said, he didn't bring authority into the room. He brought silence, and suddenly everyone felt heard. Under his leadership, the Vatican began to look for a new kind of bishop. Not managers, but shepherds. Not careerists, but men of prayer, mercy, and mission. Chapter 5. A legacy of listening. Cardinal Prevost may never become a pope, and he doesn't care if he does. His goal has never been titles, but testimony. In every decision he makes, whether approving a new bishop in Africa or comforting a family after tragedy, he asks the same question: is Christ visible in this man's life? His life is a quiet revolution. In an age of noise, he teaches silence. In a world of pride, he models humility. And in a church sometimes tempted by power, he reminds us all, we are not called to be famous. We are called to be faithful. Today, children still shout his name in the dusty hills of Peru. Priests around the world cite him as a mentor. And deep inside the Vatican, a man still walks each morning, rosary in hand, praying not for success, but for a